Okay, so this is going to be part two of my simple sentence and compound sentence review. Um, I decided to split it up because it was taking upwards of 6 minutes to do simple sentences, and I didn't want to add anything on that video. So one thing I did realize from the first video is that I have to talk louder, which I don't have a problem with. So hopefully the sound will come out just a little bit clearer because I'm talking louder. All right, let's talk about compound sentences. Now, compound sentences uh, are a little less painful than compound fractures. However, they do sometimes throw us for a loop, and we kind of need to notice, at the very least, when we have a compound sentence, and there's a couple of clues that we can gain from looking at a sentence right off the bat that show that we do have, at the very least, compound elements. So a compound sentence is a sentence that contains one or two or more independent clauses. So I think a lot of, at least on the last homework assignment that I gave you, and some of the ones in the past as well, it seems that we are having problems with the and more concept, um, and not just the two independent clauses concept. So that's what I want to kind of get into right away. So let's take a look at the sentence that I'm about to put on the document. Let's say, can we get a ride to the party? Our ride broke down, and we could, and we could really use your help. All right, so the reason why I put this sentence this way is because it kind of gives us two of the major ways that we can identify if a sentence is compound. The first way that, and the most common way that we find compound sentences, and the reason why this is you can't just combine independent clauses all willy-nilly. You have to give me something that tells me that you're combining independent clauses. And there's three conventional ways that you can do this. And the first, most common way that you can do this is with a conjunction and a comma. Now, sometimes we use a conjunction and a comma. That's weird. That seems to just do the box. But whatever. Sometimes we use a conjunction and a comma to combine other things. They don't always combine independent clauses. So that is something that you have to look out for. But for the most part, if you are combining two independent clauses, you are doing so with the use of a comma and a coordinating conjunction. So we see the comma here and we see the coordinating conjunctions. And if you remember, the coordinating conjunctions include for, and, nor, but, also, yet, and so. So when we have these elements combined with a comma, chances are you're going to have some kind of compound sentence. The second most common way that we combine compound elements, independent clauses, I guess I should say, is we have a semicolon. So a semicolon is a piece of punctuation that is used to combine independent clauses most of the time. There's one other way that you can use it, but generally we don't run into that way. So a semicolon generally combines, combines independent clauses that are closely related. Note that you do not need a conjunction when you're using a semicolon. So that is the second most common way that we can combine independent clauses. The third and probably the least conventional way that you combine independent clauses is using what we would call a conjunctive adverb. And you're going to notice these right away. I don't think you're going to run into them a whole awful lot, but you'll notice them right away because of their particular punctuation. So we use both types of punctuation when we use a conjunctive adverb. You use both a semicolon and a comma. So we use a conjunctive adverb, like I said, with both types of punctuation. So if I was going to use it here, it would sound something like this. Comma, conjunctive adverb, in this particular instance, I'm going to use moreover, semicolon, let's say, can we get a ride to the party? Our ride broke down. We could really use your help. Moreover, it is raining outside. So that's one way that you can use a conjunctive adverb. Like I said, I wouldn't really study conjunctive adverbs, but study the way that they're punctuated, and you will be able to find them. So these are the three ways that we generally find compound sentences. Now, notice that there are no subordinate clauses in here, because if there were subordinate clauses in here, then it would not be a compound sentence. It would be a compound complex sentence. So make sure when you're going through these that you don't find any subordinating clauses. The second thing is we have in this sentence 4 independent clauses. So a lot of you guys think that if there's more than one independent clause, you put complex for some reason, or compound complex. Know that I can have an infinity amount of compound or independent clauses, and I would still have only a compound sentence. So you really have to do your due diligence to make sure that all of the subject-verb pairs are independent and can stand by themselves before you label the sentence. So even though we have 4 independent clauses here, can we get a ride to the party? Our ride broke down. We could really use your help. It is raining outside. It is still a compound sentence.